First thing to do, of course, is to look at the structure of the poem. How many stanzas? What's the rhyme scheme? I see here, if you notice, we have an A, B rhyme scheme. There are 4 lines per stanza. All total, there are 4 stanzas. So it's a relatively simple construct of a poem. In terms of the sentiment, you again get a first-person narrator. The first-person narrator always indicates experience, emotion, not reason, not cold judgment on a thing, but rather somebody who's personally involved in what's going on around him or her. That's a distinct romantic trait. Rather than reason governing, the first-person narrator says that he's personally involved in what's happening. Well, this narrator suggests that he traveled among unknown men. It's a great line. What does it mean to travel among unknown men? What does it mean to be lost in a crowd of people you don't know any of them? Sometimes they may be hostile. And if you're in lands beyond the sea, as Wordsworth also adds in the next line, aren't you distant from home, distant from that whole sense of comfort and that sense of belonging somewhere? Well, that to a great degree, I think, is the sense that the Romantics indicated was the human condition. Human beings are themselves exiles, the Romantics would suggest. We are exiles from a land of glory and beauty and light in this world around us. And the traveling among unknown men is really what the Romantics would say we do on a daily basis. We travel among other people that we seem unfamiliar with them, outcast from them, in a land beyond the sea. The speaker then says that it was England that he realized was the place that he loved most of all the world. He bore a love to England more than any other place. But before we start thinking that somehow Wordsworth is just being patriotic here, we've got to realize that it's not because England as some great government or as some great historical spot was attractive, but rather that England was attractive to him because that's where his beloved, the woman that he loved, most had her home. And as he suggests in the second stanza, he will never leave that shore again. He'll never quit thy shores again, because he loves the land more and more and more with each passing day. Why does he love the land? Again, he says, this is where I had these experiences. This is where I had these intense experiences of desire and joy, and all of them were associated with this woman, this Lucy character, the woman that he cherished, who turned her wheel beside an English fire. Odd, because Wordsworth had a beloved in France, a woman that he loved very much in France, and he conceived with her a daughter, and he had to leave them behind when the Revolution broke out, and he fled to England. And consequently, he had a longing for somebody who wasn't in England. She was in France. But what he's speaking about is not so much a patriotic feeling of emotion for Britain. It's rather the sense that the person that you love and the intense experience of emotion that you love for another person makes the land where they live sacred to you. It attaches you to the land where they live. That's why he suggests that he is in love with this woman who turned her wheel by an English fire, and so England becomes for him the place where he loves to be. That's made even more intense in the last bit. Because as he says here, the morning showed, thy nights concealed, the bowers where Lucy played. The mornings showed where she was, and the nights concealed where she was. Notice night and day again with the idea of light. But this is also the last place that she saw, indicating, of course, that she's dead. By the time of the writing of the poem, the Lucy character is dead, and so the speaker is now bound even more to love the land, not just because she's there, but because she was there once, and now she's no longer there. And the places where she walked and the things that she touched become almost like relics. They remind him of her. I think this takes on a new dimension when we start thinking about the idea of being exiles, all of us, in this world. The Romantics conceived of us as exiles in this world. And yet, our love for another person in this world seems to make parts of this world very dear to us. No longer exiles, but seeing this world as being something to be loved and cherished, almost like a relic that reminds us of that once great time that we had, the once beautiful time that we had with the beloved.